to all of you viewing. Welcome back. I'm Darren Hoffson. This is my co-host.
I'm Abigail Halverson.
As you may notice, we now have the same last name. How could this be?
Okay, they already know that we're married.
We're married!
Okay. Hey everyone. Today we are going to be talking about something
Very important.
very important, like in all seriousness, something that we've been wanting to talk about for a while and it's very important. And if you're getting married soon, it could be something for you to listen to and really grab a hold of.
And someday down the line.
And if you're getting married someday, yes.
Today we're going to be talking about some pretty important things that you might want to talk with your significant other about, and your expectations for your wedding night. And maybe some things that you haven't even thought about yet, or that you feel uncomfortable sharing with that person or talking with that other person.
Yeah, and it's just like our main point of today of this video is that it's super important to talk about these things, talk about sex with your significant other, especially before you get married, because if you can't talk about it with them, having it with them is going to be very awkward. So it's really important to talk about that. Make sure you guys are on the same page,
Just
that
be
your
open.
expectations are the same, so when you go into that wedding night, your first night together, you're on the same page and there's not awkwardness, there's not confusion about what's gonna happen. Because for us, like, there was no awkwardness because we talked about it thoroughly beforehand and we're on the exact same page. Like, I even remember Darren asking me right before we got married, he's like, because we talked about this before, and one of our things was that it's okay if we don't have sex on our wedding night. Like, we said that straight out. Darren's like, it's okay, Abby. Like, if you're not ready, if I'm not ready, like, it's totally okay.
Because we, as you know, we saved everything for our wedding, our marriage, and we were okay with not having to just jump straight into everything right away.
Right. So like, it's totally okay, even if we were kissing beforehand. You might not be ready for that. Like,
right. And you have your whole lives together.
Yeah.
Just spending that time with each other and treasuring that time with each other is
in
totally,
different way, like,
totally fine.
without having sex, is totally okay. So, just first off, that's the first thing to talk about. Like, are we going to even have sex? Like, maybe your answer is yes if it happens, no, it's okay if it doesn't. That was kind of for us. Like, yeah, well, we're gonna try, but if it's okay if it doesn't. But one thing that you asked me even right before we got married was, do we even want to be naked our first night? And that's honestly a great question. I was like, oh, wow, that's a great question to ask. But seriously, though, that really, like, touched my heart that Darren even asked me that, because that showed me, that's not all he's just looking forward to and excited about and his main focus. Like, he's like, we don't even have to be naked. Like, I just want to be with you and be by you all night. And I'm like, but I want to be naked.
We'll cut that part off. But the biggest thing was I just wanted to honor her. Like, I was doing in our relationship even before we got married. I wanted to honor her and just respect, like, her wishes of how comfortable she was, and I wanted to make her feel treasured also.
Oh, thanks, baby. So that's basically what we're saying is, if you have not had this conversation with your significant other, have it. Talk about your expectations. Get down to the details, not to the point where you're thinking about it too much and then all becomes a big temptation. And just recommend talking about it at least like a week before your wedding and before, so that you're just comfortable and know what to expect. So it's not awkward, because it doesn't have to be. And for the ladies, like, I know that some people talk about sex and your first time being a little painful. And it depends on the woman, it depends on her body, and the whole situation, it totally depends. But before we got married, that was a big concern of mine, and I was talking about it with a lot of women, and someone told me, like, just don't go into it with that like waiting for the pain type of thing. Just go into it completely open and not thinking about that, and just relaxed. And it didn't hurt for me, and yes, it felt a little uncomfortable, but it was just super enjoyable and amazing. And it was enjoyable and amazing because I felt so connected and close to Darren. And since then, like, obviously things have changed in that area of our life, and things have grown and gotten better in that way, but that's normal. And that's the process that and the journey that you get to experience with your significant other. And that's what's so beautiful and part of the amazing journey of it and how awesome it is.
So another thing that you guys should probably talk about is just what you've been indulging. So when it comes to like movies and things like that, what you've seen, like Hollywood, they portray a totally different picture of what it looks like. It's not
and what it's meant to be.
And what it's meant to be. Yeah, because it's meant to be you're serving each other as you become one. And Hollywood is more of like a lustful, crazy thing that happens.
Yeah, and just like all about me.
Yeah.
That's how they portray it, and
it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way. Because this is so how Abby and I came into it with a mindset of I'm serving my significant other. Mm-hmm. I'm not going in and for my
pleasure.
Whatever. Yeah.
Like, yes, it is pleasurable, but that's not what our main focus is, and it's not what it was. And so that's why it was so beautiful, is because like we were so vulnerable, and we were just, our mindset was to serve each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another big thing for men, you need to go into it making sure that you know that she's going to feel very uncomfortable. She's going to feel vulnerable in front of you, and you need to make sure that you just make her feel loved and beautiful, because she is going to be very fragile in that moment, opening herself up fully to you. So you need to make sure that she feels not only loved, but that you're there to protect her and you're taking care of her, that you're not just using her, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then she potentially doesn't feel uncomfortable, like me. Like, you did an amazing job.
Right. And while, like, throughout the night, just make sure you're talking through everything too.
Yeah.
Because making sure, so that you have everything out in the open and that you're not just going through it without talking.
Like, if you have to say, okay, I'm good for now, like, we're gonna stop doing this, let's do this, like, verbally talk about it.
Right.
And it'll be super helpful. And yes.
And so when you're going into it with a servant mindset, when you get a response like, okay, I'm uncomfortable right now, then you don't feel like you're being rejected. It's more of, okay,
that's good.
I want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable, so that's totally fine.
That's good. That's good. One last thing I want to say before we close is about health, and just making sure for women that you're staying away from harmful chemicals that can cause pain during sex. So I listened to a podcast. It's called Marriage After God. It's by Jennifer and Aaron Smith. Great podcast. Go check it out. But one thing that they talk about is how at the beginning of their marriage they had a hard time having sex because it was so painful for Jennifer. And her reason was because she was exposing herself to parabens. And parabens are in a lot of like lotions, soaps, face wash, makeup, especially for women. And so that parabens, basically what they do is they mimic estrogen. Estrogen,
it affects your whole body.
It affects your whole body and all your hormones.
Especially for women.
Yes, it's one of your main sexual sex hormones. And
sexual sex hormones.
Okay, body doesn't have the right levels of that. That can make it painful. So women, check your lotions, check your face wash, makeup, all those different things for parabens. And if they have them in there and you're experiencing that, switch it out. Try something different.
When you're looking for parabens, it's basically on your lotions and things like that. It's a very long word for a chemical, but at the very end of the word, it's going to have paraben. So it could be blah, 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 paraben. So you just got to make sure that you look out for those. Because if you're using it daily, it has a very big effect on you, even if you're not using it daily too. So we care about you. That's why we're talking about this.
Yes. All right. So this is a big topic. Again, we'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have.
So let us know.
It's a big topic, and we want to help you out.
All right, so like always, thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions or just even topics that are related to what we talked about today, please let us know, because we would love to not only look into them, but also share more about what we have learned and are learning about it. So thank you guys.
So on that note, go talk to your significant other about sex.
Yes.
Please.
Bye.